This is one I thought was really interesting, JD, and I want to hear your take on this.
Okay.
All our topics are interesting tonight, but this one's specifically interesting. So this past week, Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce was on Barstool Sports' Pardon My Take podcast, where he was confronted about playing too soft at times, highlighting that he tries to avoid defenders instead of running right through them. And Kelce actually agreed with that take that he sometimes tends to be on the soft side when it comes to trucking defenders. Is what they're really specifically talking about, trucking defenders.
Okay.
So JD, I have a different opinion on this, and I know this is Kelce even said it about himself. So that's why it's interesting about this. It's not just some random person saying he's soft. The fact that he agreed with it. So my question is, do you agree with Kelce's critique of himself, or do you think he's not soft but more smart?
Oh, absolutely. I think he's more smart about it. I don't think he's soft at all. I've always said that. I always said that Travis is like the rubber band man, right? Like you never get a full hit on Travis. And, he's very elusive. And the thing is, he don't need to run over anybody, unless it's, for the first down or something that he needs to lower his shoulder and get over a guy. Cool. Other than that, what's the point of it? I look at it like this. It's a business decision, right? Part of this being elite in this game is longevity. And so he's been playing at a high level for a number of years. And a lot of it has to do with his health. And so if he's avoiding these hits, I wouldn't say it's soft, but it's business savvy. That's, to me, that it just makes sense. It makes sense. And yeah, you might jab the guy for being soft. He could say, look, man, I agree with you. But guess what? I'm still cooking these guys, over, year 9 and 10, of catching these balls on these jokers. They still can't catch me. And so he's just been showing what he can do as an elite tight end. But he's one of the best in the business as far as yards at the catch. And so if you need to break through 3 or 4 guys and make some extra yards, he'll do it when it's necessary. But as far as like trying to find, some type of hits or physicality out there, trying to find, all type of the battering rams, you don't need to do that. Travis don't need to do it, man. He's been doing an incredible job all this time, and he should stay with that. It keeps him in the league longer. It keeps him on the field longer. It keeps him healthy, and it keeps him, upright and making sure he's killing defenses. So yeah, man. They might, rib him a little bit. Oh man, you're being soft. To me, I don't think it's soft at all. I think it's a smart play. I think it's a smart man making a business decision about his career, and it's on display.
And I believe he led the league in yak last year. Not just tight ends, receivers too, running backs. You could name everybody in there. He led the league in yak last year. So,
hello, right. So if he's leading the league in yak yards, you could call me whatever you want to call me, right? I tell you what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna call him number 1 in yak. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yak on that then. I'm number 1. I'm the number 1 yak guy. So make sure you put a little bit of respect behind my name now when you say that. Okay. So now I just think, man, that's just it's business savvy. Matter of fact, I'll give you a story. He was playing Dallas one time, and Deion Sanders was a corner. This is when I was up in Philly, and so I catch the ball. Deion's on the outside. I'm running right at Deion, and I'm ready to truck Deion. I'm like, I'm ready to run over Prime, and I go lower my shoulder. Deion steps out of the way, like literally steps out of the way, and like lets me pass by him, and then he kind of like just grabs me from my legs from behind. He's like, he got up. He's like, oh, no, big fella. I ain't ready. You thought you was going to hit? I said, nah. I see, he didn't want none of that. He said, no, man, it's a business decision. I ain't ready to do that, Dunn. It's a business decision. And I was just like, you know what? Makes a lot of sense. That's why you're trying. That's why you're playing for a long time at a high level.
Yep.
Because you're making some choices and decisions that's going to make sure that you're going to be primed for a long time. Mm-hmm. So I get that. That's the bravado and the toughness that sometimes you want to see, the physicality in football. But the reality is, you know what? Hey, if a guy is able to be effective and be, when I'm telling you, just a terror running the football, man, be that. Shoot, some guys like I didn't mind the physical part of football. I don't mind running over a guy. I don't mind doing that. Now, look, I had I could get on my toes and get around a guy if I needed to as well. And sometimes they might expect that hit to happen, but then you know what? Hey, and now I might just run around you. So I think, man, it depends on a guy's game. His game is more elusive. His game's a little bit more savvy. His game's a little bit more, I want to say, um, swanky in doing things. Right? He's got a little bit more. Uh, uh, I'm trying to think of what my boy used to call it.
Sauce.
Saucy. You can pay saucy. We'll use saucy. Saucy is a good one. Okay, so definitely. I mean, he has all of that to his game, man. But the physicality come out when it needs to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also think it's kind of like a very elementary way of looking at it. It's like, yeah, you don't truck defenders. I mean, it's ridiculous. What are we playing Madden here? You're to highlight the truck stick. I mean, what? The guy is playing an elite level at such a an older age for a tight end, and in the numbers he's putting up right now, it's ridiculous. And he hasn't really had any major injuries. So like, obviously, whatever he's doing is working. Who cares if he's trucking defenders, if he's getting body slammed by Derwin James? Look what he's doing. Look at the numbers he's putting up.
Yeah, man. I think that's just part of the phase of football, right? That people want to see the hard hits. They want to see a guy like this trucking guys. You're a big tight end. You're 6'3", 6'4", 250 something pounds. How come you're not running over defenders? Because I don't need to. How about that? How about I show you a different element to my game as opposed to running over guys. Now, like I said, if he needs to pull it out of the bag, he's got it. He's got it. So don't sleep on him. If you think he's just going to run around you every time, then you go get caught. And if he catch you slipping, then you're going to be on ESPN one of them days looking silly, being ran over by 8-7. So don't catch his joke and slipping now. Hey, he'll run over you if he needs to.
And it isn't funny too. So also we've talked about before, an underrated part of Travis's game is his blocking ability. No one really ever talks about that. But it's funny though, like we're talking about softness or toughness from a tight end. But we're talking about trucking defenders. We're not even talking about the blocking aspect of game. I mean, like we're going to talk about a person who's soft or not when it comes to being a tight end. I think we need to talk about the blocking, not trucking defenders. Because I mean, how often are we really seeing tight ends truck defenders that often these days? You don't really see that much anymore, anyways.
No, I mean you get it from some guys. Kittle, he'll run over some guys, but guys want to try to get yak yards. I mean, I think now where kind of during my era, I'll say during my time. Was that toughness. It was, on the shoulder, running over guys, giving them the boom. But now where the guys are a little bit more, like I said, a little bit more elusive, they're athletic, you can run around a guy or, just, we going to shake him out of your shoes. To me, that's impressive. I'd rather see a guy shake him out of shoes, and he's been doing plenty of that. So some of the moves he's making, I'm like, ooh, wee. I said, look at you. I see you 8-7. Keep doing them up, Trav. Keep doing them up. So I love that. I love that part of the game. Because it's something that we need to see a little bit more from tight ends than, the whole just, big blundering guys that you may see, right? Now, shoot, Travis, he's got a little bit more swag to him than that.
Yeah, so consensus, Travis Kelce is smart, not soft.
He's smart, man. Savvy, so.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.